Hi, sexies. Welcome to WEBCAM Chronicles. I am sitting here in Texas, enjoying the cool weather and the clouds and the rainy days, last few days. And I am looking at YouTube and looking at the Selfcare Sunday videos. And I wanted to step in a bit and talk about mental health and what you should be focusing on. Lately, I've seen a lot of people talk about mental health, and they're talking about the same things over and over again. Like, it's almost as if they're not even stepping away from what the real issues are. I've said this on a couple of platforms that some people are at the top of their game and they're still worried about being in a relationship. If you don't know about yourself, if you are still stuck in the same person you were years ago, then your focus should be growth mindset, not so much mental. I think we should have to go back to psychology in college, when we took psychology in college. Some people taught on certain things and other people taught on other things. And we're forgetting about those 10 basic skills that we need to move forward in our mental steps. Every weekend, I scroll across several different platforms and it's the same thing. I feel like some people, like we all are at certain ages, we're at a standstill. We're at a standstill. We're talking about the same things over and over again. And if you're not moving forward and you're focusing on relationship mental health, job mental health, children mental health, what steps, let's talk about what steps are you taking to combat certain things even if it's a short period of time, because we know as with age comes wisdom. And some platforms I see that they have children, and sometimes I think some people want to do other things, but because they have kids, they feel like the child is in the way, or children are in the way. And then I go back to, a woman that was on the Steve Harvey show, where she said, if you want to do certain things and you have children, put those children to work. She gave out the information, gave out the tax information. So you won't feel like you can't do anything because you got a child or you have children or whatever. So that's one aspect of the mental breakdown that I feel like a lot of people have. Another aspect is your job. I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in social media to the point where we're telling way too much, sounding crazy in the sense that some things just don't need to be said. You need to basically focus on what your job is. Everybody doesn't need to know every aspect of your life, even though you're keeping it real. And I comment on certain platforms and I keep it 100. I'm older. I can't say that I've been in places that some of the women um, that I see have been, like dating, having children out of wedlock, um, or not being married at all, um, collecting bodies when you're so young. And I firmly believe now, let's just talk about this. Sorry. I firmly believe, and I used to not believe this, but I firmly believe this now. There are fun girls you date, and there are women that you marry. There are fun girls that you date, and there are women that you marry. And I also want to say that that goes with men. There are guys that are cool that you date, and there's those men that are put together that you settle down with, or they're so young, like my situation, so young that they were put together. um I was married over 28 years, 4 children. I do have a child um from a high school relationship, and I would say I was more sheltered than anything because I went from one family to another family to another family, and I never did have time for myself. And so I guess I've adapted that situation where having kids, having grandkids doesn't bother me. You learn to have a growth mindset and understand that you're not in that place anymore. You're not that person you used to be. And I can honestly say I had a good life. I didn't have a life of pain, a life of struggle, a life of a lot of breakups. You know, you had those fun guys, and you had that man that you married. Um, but when we go back and we want to talk about complete mental health, the mental health should be just focused on you, not your body, not your face, not your BBL, BBW, whatever you want to call it. Your mental health needs to be focused on your growth mindset. Where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be? You know, God, the God you serve, has plans for you. If you serve a God, has plans for your life, and He's putting things in motion to the point where you need to walk that walk, not focus on the next body. Focus on a growth mindset, like putting those steps together to where you say you want to move, you say you want this, you say you want that, and you're in a space or a place where those things can happen. And a lot of times when you get into a relationship, that man see that you've already built certain things, and he's wondering, what is he there for? And with that, having things, having materialistic things, having the ability to go out and do whatever you want to do, comes resentment from that man. And that's why I always say we have to develop a growth mindset. You're not 20s anymore. You're not 30s anymore. And if you are, you're older 30s, and it's time to start thinking like a boss, a businesswoman, a mother, and not an Instagram hottie. You know, you leave that to the under 20 years, under 25-year-olds. Um, and another thing, when we talk about mental health, mental situations, Drinking is a depressant. If you can't leave the house or you can't go out without not having a drink, do you think there's a problem? Not an alcoholic problem, just, oh, I can't function, I need something to drink. And just like marijuana, after you come off that high, that depression is still there. Um, I didn't start having a drink socially or at home until I was 42. I was in a depression going through a divorce before I had a drink. So for me to add that on to what I've already had been going through without one, can you imagine how depressing that is? I mean, that's depressing. That's a depression. So when you talk about mental health, mentally, your mind has to be clear 100%. No, you do what you want as an adult. You do whatever you want. But if you're setting an example, and we all fall short, I've fallen short. If you want to set an example, and if you have to have that drink, you do it outside the home. Don't buy alcohol in the house when you have children. Because children are observing everything mother does, male or female. Their observation comes from mother first. Now, if dad is there and his dad is involved, yard work, sports, if you have a son that's into those things, then that observation comes with that too. But everything they learn, how to wash clothes, how to cook, how to clean a house, how to work, how to talk professionally, how to handle situations, how to handle friends, how to handle people in general. They're observing what mom says, what mom does. So when you want to talk about mental health, talk about what you're putting in your body as well as what's going on outside of your body, what's going on around you, what things you have to change within your life, within yourself, what people do you have to change? Because those girlfriends, like they say, what that like that TikTok says, they act like they don't see you. They see you. And the bigger you get, the higher you get, the more um success you get, those girlfriends gonna fade away. Now you might have some ride or die, but even ride or die start get jealous at a certain time. And as much as I love to watch certain influencers, certain YouTubers, lately, as of late, it seems like every week we're talking about the same thing and not getting results, not getting anywhere. And so I just jumped on my laptop to talk about that. I haven't been as focused as I should be, um, because I'm trying to create a niche myself, trying to create something different than what I see day after day. I applaud everybody's that's on top of their game. Juicy Jazz, Maya Galore. Uh, I love to watch um, Tabitha Scott, the nail influencer, um, Andrea Renee, and Cheyenne, um, Too Much Mouth, um, and my all-time favorite, Andreamatillano. I applaud those. And Tati, I'm glad to see Tati back. Um, and see, I'm glad to see those women that I watch faithfully when I can. But even some of those women still look at other women, still look at other influencers and feel like they're not worthy. The first thing that I learned when I tried to start my channel is not worry about what somebody else is doing. Don't criticize what somebody else is doing. And as I went back in school to a psychology class, I picked up 3 basic skills: communication, non-judgmental, body language. So when you talk about mental health, you need to think about self first. You need to think about, am I communicating what I need, what I want with those that I work with, those I'm in a relationship with, whether that's girlfriends, male friends, whatever, my children? Am I judging other people? And if I have a conversation verbally, is my body language telling me something that my mouth isn't? I have gotten in trouble on Instagram because of my too much mouth, because I wasn't judging, but I was teaching young mothers what they shouldn't be doing with their babies for likes. But I had to step back because although it's not my problem, when you put it on social media, it's everybody's problems. It's everybody's issue because you're on a public forum and I have the right to say what I need to say, but I don't have the right to say what I want to say, because what I want to say is a few people need a kick in the butt for the stuff that they post and the stuff that they do with children, with minors. CPS does need to be called. So when we talk about mental health, we have to look at ourselves. You have to figure out, am I the person I need to be while I'm telling somebody else what they need to be doing and not doing? I need to focus on what's going on around me. And so I just wanted to jump on here and just give a little talk, because we all know during this pandemic, mental health has been more important than anything. I have watched teachers pass, family friends pass, strangers pass, children, and all of this because of a virus that was leaked. Every life matters, but I'm more pro children than anything. I understand people don't want to get the vaccine. I understand people are losing their jobs if they don't. My thing is this: if you don't care enough about yourself, that's fine. But care about your grandparents, your great grandparents, your children. Care about those people around you that you affect, and that are affected by you. So we don't have to wait for a mental health week or mental health uh, month or day to talk about it. This is ongoing. But we need to stop pointing the finger at about stuff that's going on around us and figure out what can we do to stop having so many mental breakdowns and come up with a mental breakthrough. I'm listening to an influencer now that goes on about the same stuff. I need you to come up with a mental breakthrough for your health and focus on something other than what you've been focusing on. So that was my rant. That was my concern. And I'll see you all sexies in the next video. Bye.